Thanks, Mr. Moderator, and good afternoon to all of you. Well, when you present towards end, you get a kind of not a very good welcome because you could say, oh, it's all hereditary, and therefore I won't be a villain to your session and would like to do a very, very brief presentation. I guess the entire focus of this is technology for climate change. What you might have to excuse me, a slight deviation from the theme, and since there was some confusion about which topic I should choose to my presentation, earlier I prepared something else, and then last moment I changed my topic to this. So anyway, I hope you will bear with me. Well, globally there is so much research outcome that you can see today. This is a focus data. Somewhere in 1996 or so, when we had the second IPCC, and then onward you had increase in the number of papers. And it was sometime after third IPCC that globally people started publishing papers in the climate change area. And now we saw all kind of, several papers coming missing. In India also we started slightly late, somewhere around 2002 or so we started working in climate change. We had largely focused on weather until then. And therefore, as on date, we are still lagging, in terms of global ranking. We are around, say, 14th or 15th position. Of course, in Asia, we are number 2 after China. Well, we, did a lot of work in this thing, trying to understand who does what. And there's so it's kind of mapping of all scientists who work in climate change area in the country. So you map 3,000 scientists, 400 scientists have international recognition. There are as many as 450 institutions working in climate change area. And we have so much systematic data. I think one of the few countries in the world which has got long-term 132 years of data that we have. Well, I think this summit has already had exposure of all kind of mission presentations by different ministries. Well, out of 8 national missions, 4 of them are focusing on mitigation, 3 on adaptation, and 1 on knowledge generation. DST was given the responsibility to coordinate 2 missions, one on Himalaya and another on static knowledge. Our job was basically to focus on building SLT capacity in the country. This is a summary of all that we have done in the past 3-4 years. We have 8 Center of Excellence, we have 20 major R&D programs, state level centers we have started, several human capacity building programs, network programs, global technology watch groups, inter-university consortium, thematic task forces for Himalayan region, and we also had Indo-Swiss capacity building program, Indo-US fellowship program, and Indo-German research program started just recently. These are the all list of center of excellence. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but you have to appreciate that these all centers are working in some area of theme. For example, IIT Delhi is working on climate modeling, IIT Bombay is working on adaptation, ICRISAT is working on agriculture, and like that. And recently we started one center in the ICMR, Center for Climate Malaria Research, to work on the climate change and vector-borne diseases. These are locations of various R&D programs that we have, and this is the state centers. 21 states have our centers, and they all work with the, creating capacity in the state level, and also for public awareness and the other kind of training programs and all. Knowledge network program we launched, in fact, two network programs in 2011, one on human health, other one on modeling. Recently, we launched the second phase of this network program and another network program, coastal vulnerability. These are some human casualty modeling program anchored around key institutions working in the area of climate change impact. And you will find that they are mostly working for the training purposes, and they all have been chosen out of a very stringent selection process. This program could be of interest to you. You know, when we are working on the technology issues, there was the issue that how do we choose the technology? Which technology is relevant to India is very important. So all these missions, 8 missions, they all work in some area or other in technology. This global technology was basically was set up to have assessment of right technology, their evaluation, prioritization, and risk assessment and foresight in the area of climate change and adaptation mitigation. In fact, as a part of negotiation also, we needed technology need assessments for the country. So basically, these are 8 areas where we already set up this technology walkthrough. There, in fact, the course are going to be coming by end of this month, all 8 technology areas, and 3 more technology areas we are going to launch very soon. These are the task forces in the Himalayan region. The idea is to develop a, Can Himalaya, assessment of Himalayan ecosystem health. So these are different areas that you see and anchored around some key institutions. We also, in fact, we have 800 plus universities in the country, but there is no culture of collaboration between the two universities. We started certain consortia, the inter-university consortia. There is one on the climate change and cryosphere, Jawaharlal Nehru University, University of Kashmir, Jammu University, and Sikkim University. We have several bilateral programs in the climate change program. Of course, with the EU, we, as it was mentioned in the previous session, there is a multilateral arrangement we already have, and we are working with EU very closely. Call for proposals are invited every year in different areas of science, technology, innovation, including the environmental and climate change area. But this is a specific area where we have, bilateral arrangement with Switzerland, and recently we started in Germany. We have an Indo-German Center for Sustainability at IIT Madras. We also work on mobility of scientists and joint workshop. And recently we started working with GIZ for capacity building in the Indian states. This is a summary of all programs that we have, and this is the national coverage of program, 164 programs, 158 institutions, and 616 scientists are involved across the country. And these are some programs we are going to launch: Professor Chair, 3 network programs, Technical Excellence, Major and the program. During this year, we are going to launch these programs. And this is under the Himalayan network. We are going to launch a network program, Center of Excellence, and network and capacity building program for the Himalayan region. This also we are going to have it by early next year, or maybe we'll try to do it even end of this year still. So I conclude by saying that India has a very strong climate change research base in terms of number of quality researchers, data, and infrastructure. In fact, there are emergence of new institutions, and especially in the private sector, new universities are being set up. 10 years back, we have only 250 odd universities. today we have 800 plus universities, and several universities are coming up with, research program, and climate change is the hot topic for them. And in DST, we are trying to establish, several programs to build the human and institutional capacity. There are some ongoing programs, bilateral programs already there, and these have definitely provided some good value addition to our ongoing program. And we look forward to building new collaboration and new program with the different within the country and outside the country, and especially when we are talking about reference to EU, we look forward to building new collaboration and cooperation with the EU countries. Thank you very much.